There are so many mistakes that tourists make when visiting Miami, but don't worry, I got you guys covered in this video. I'm gonna let you know all the scams you need to be aware of and just things in general that will help you and your trip. My number one tip for you guys is do not fly to Fort Lauderdale in order to save money. At the end of the day, you're gonna spend more money flying to Fort Lauderdale and taking a cab, a Uber, or a Lyft to Miami Beach. And here's why. It's going to cost you about $100 to take a taxi from Fort Lauderdale to Miami, and that's one way. Now, if you're going to choose the Uber or Lyft, it's going to cost you between $40 to $50. Keep in mind, this is not during prime time or rush hour. If you call an Uber or a Lyft during rush hour, it's going to cost you definitely $60 to $70 one way, and that's a 45-minute drive. If you value your time, if you value your money, fly straight to Miami. You are not saving money by going to Fort Lauderdale. I'm gonna let you know that right now. One of the best parts about flying to Miami directly is that your Uber from the airport all the way to your hotel is probably gonna be $20. If you are forced to take a taxi, the good news is that there's a flat rate of $35 from the airport to your hotel. Another mistake that a lot of people are making is not trying authentic Cuban food. Now, I talk more about this in my things to do in Miami video, which I'll link right here. But basically, there's a lot of good Cuban spots that you want to try out in Little Havana. If you do not want to leave South Beach itself, there are some Cuban spots in South Beach that you must try out. Havana 1957 and Laurels are one of the two best spots on South Beach. So if you don't want to take the drive from South Beach all the way to Little Havana to get some really good Cuban food, just go to these two spots. Again, that's Havana 1957 and Laurels. That's the two best Cuban spots on South Beach. Speaking of South Beach, another mistake that I see tons of tourists make every single time is only visiting South Beach. So many tourists make the mistake by just thinking Miami is South Beach. Don't get me wrong, South Beach has so much to offer, but there's so much to Miami that you are missing out. It is so easy just to take an Uber or a Lyft and go to downtown Miami or go to Little Havana. I talk more about this on my things to do in Miami video. Again, you need to watch that. But I see this time and time again. People come here, they stay in South Beach and they never leave. Get off of South Beach if you've been here more than once. There's so much more that Miami offers. Another issue that I see a lot of tourists having is underestimating the cost of being in Miami. Everything here is more expensive. That drink that used to cost you $5 in your hometown is probably gonna cost you $30 here. In order to drink all night at any Miami club, it's gonna cost you about a car payment. If you want to eat at a decent restaurant, I'm not talking about the top restaurants, I'm talking about just a decent place, it's going to cost you about $50 to $70 per person. Yes, that's $50 to $70 per person, and you got to eat multiple times in a day, right? This is a huge problem. People are coming here to Miami, they're underestimating how much things cost, and they end up going broke or not having enough money to really enjoy their vacation. I always recommend try to have a $400 per day budget when you visit Miami. At least, again, I'm saying that's the least you should have when visiting Miami. Now, I'm sorry, I have to give you guys a lot of bad news on these nightclubs. The truth is, the nightclubs in Miami are some of the best nightclubs in the world. And because they are some of the best nightclubs in the world, they're also the hardest to get into if you don't meet a certain demographic. What I mean by that, if you're a guy, you're pretty much never getting in unless you have bottle service or a good VIP host. If you're a guy and you're not prepared to spend a couple $1,000s at the nightclub that night, I recommend not even going. You have to keep in mind that these nightclubs do not want guys. They don't want guys at all. Now, if you're not a baller and you're lucky enough to get in, keep in mind they're going to keep you waiting in line for hours. Not only do you have to wait for hours, but when you actually get in the club, they're not going to treat you the best. They're not going to treat you as well as they treat the women and the VIPs. If you are a group of girls, yes, you are most likely to get in. However, if you're not considered hot, you will be turned away. As a nightclub VIP host like myself, sometimes I have to go into the lines outside and pick certain girls to come into the club so they could be with the VIPs. There have been times where I see a really beautiful group of girls. I go up to them, I approach them, I basically let them in the line until they have that one friend that does not hit the criteria, and I will have to turn that one friend away in the group. I will have to say everybody else could come in and skip the line except for her. Now that sounds completely terrible, and I agree with you, but that's how the nightclubs work here. I'm not saying it's right, and I kind of think it's disgusting, but it's the truth. So I'm telling you right now, if you are a group of guys, contact the nightclub VIP host or myself. Buy bottle service so you can almost guarantee to get in. Your chances are increased, but it's not guaranteed. Sometimes the nightclub will turn away a group of guys, even if they purchase bottle service. So if you're a dude, buy bottle service and make sure you have a few girls in the mix. This is not difficult. All you have to do is go to the line and then choose a few girls to walk in with you. If you are a group of girls and you are trying to get in, do not bring that one friend that is not quote unquote hot, or do not bring your boyfriend. Because I'm telling you right now, people are going to get their feelings hurt. I had so many conversations with my roommates of when they have a friend that is not considered really hot and they basically cannot get into the club, or at least not get into the club fast. Again, this is gonna sound horrible, but if you are one of the group of girls and you know that one of your friends do not hit the criteria, try to not go to the club with her, or understand in advance that you girls will have to buy your own bottle service just to make sure that everybody feels good and that everybody's on the same level and there's no feelings being hurt. Again, I understand that this practice is horrible, but this is how Miami and Las Vegas work. I do not make the rules, I do not enforce the rules, but I have to bring the hottest girls in the club because that's my job. Okay, so now you got into the club, you have your bottle service, you're popping bottles, you're having models come to you. I need you to understand this, absolutely understand this, okay? The girls that are being sent to your table, they do not like you. They don't like you, they like the Audemars Protect that is on your wrist. You need to understand this. This happens way more than people think in Miami and Vegas. Nightclub VIP hosts like myself have a bunch of women on standby just to flirt with you, just to sit at your table, and just to drink your alcohol. Also, to upsell you so that you'll buy more alcohol. If a girl ever comes to your table and say, oh, I only drink Don Julio 1942, you should get her the hell away from your table, because I'm telling you right now, her job is simply to get you to buy the most expensive bottles. Sometimes it could be even worse. The girl could be planning to rob you. I'm not sure if you guys listen to rap music, but there's a song by Lil Wayne called Mona Lisa, where he talks about literally girls like this who will hook up with guys and then a bunch of dudes will come in their hotel room or their house and rob them. You should absolutely take no recommendations from people we send to your table. Again, they probably work for us or the club or for somebody, and you need to be aware of it. Girls that we send to your table who don't work for the nightclub or the VIP host or the promoter won't ask you to do that. They will just take whatever bottle you have already ordered and drink with you and have fun. If she tells you to buy a specific bottle, that's a huge red flag you need to be aware of. This doesn't happen every single time, but again, this is a red flag that you need to keep in mind of when you come to Vegas, Miami, Houston, San Diego, Los Angeles, anywhere. This practice goes on pretty much everywhere at every major nightclub. If you want a more detailed video, click right here and watch my bottle service scams video. Or go to my channel, go to the search and type in scams. You will see a total video, a complete video that I made of all of the bottle service scams that goes on around the world. Now let's talk about buying drinks at the bar. As I said previously, drinks in Miami probably cost way more compared to wherever you're coming from. Keep that in mind. In Miami, tip is automatically included. So when you go buy a drink from a bartender and she tell you, hey, your total is $30, that is including the tip. The issue that people have is that they see the $30, say okay, and they'll probably add a $5 tip, and you're basically double tipping the bartender. If you're not 100% sure if you are double tipping, ask the bartender if tip is already included. If you don't want to ask the bartender if tip is automatically included, what you can do is look at the receipt before you sign it, and on the bottom it will say added gratuity, meaning you can add more to the tip that you already gave. I cannot stress this enough. Do not be afraid to ask the bartender if tip is already included. I know a lot of people don't want to do this because they don't want to look cheap or something, but let me tell you something right now. These girls are trained to flirt with you. They do not like you, okay? It's manipulation. I'm telling you, I work in bottle service, so I'm giving you guys the inside, okay? These girls are trained seductresses, okay? They know how to manipulate people to give them more money and to tip them more and to buy more expensive bottles. You need to know that these girls do not like you. I'm telling you right now, the bottle girl will sit on your lap. She will call you all type of cute names. She will flirt with you. But one thing that you need to understand is that she's not gonna go home with you. The only thing that she's gonna go home with is a big bag of money, thanks to you guys who think that you could go home with her. Another mistake that I see a lot of tourists make consistently is eating on Ocean Drive. There are a lot of good restaurants at Ocean Drive, don't get me wrong, but I'm telling you, majority of them are trash. Some of the few places that are actually good is a fish called Avalon, which is a place where you can obviously get your seafood that you want. LT Steak and Seafood at the Betsy Hotel is one of the best steakhouses. There's also the Sugar Factory. We all know the Sugar Factory. Oh, and I almost forgot, go to the Clevelander for drinks. All of those are really good places in the Ocean Drive area that actually have pretty decent food at a really good price. Every other place is pretty much a waste of your time. This is also another one of the huge mistakes I see people make, is not taking advice from the locals. A lot of people are so quick to go on Google and type in the best restaurant, the best club, or the best this and that, instead of asking the people that actually live there. If you want to know where to get some of the best food, type in Miami Foodie on Instagram. A bunch of accounts are gonna pull up of Miami locals that try almost every single restaurant, and just message one of them for some places they recommend. If you want to find out where are the best nightclubs and the best lounges and get bottle service, type in Miami VIP host on Instagram. Again, you're going to see a bunch of accounts pull up, or just message me if you want to save time, because I'm a VIP host, and we'll give you some good suggestions for clubs in your price range. And I hope that you guys are getting the point. Make sure that you reach out to locals anywhere you go. It doesn't have to be Miami, it could be Las Vegas, California, anywhere. Just make sure that you reach out to a local, multiple locals, and find out what's best for you. These people are more than willing to help you out with your trip, as long as you're reaching out to them. I try to respond to every single message I get, so if your Miami vacation is months out and you want some good ideas and want to talk to me personally or book bottle service, contact me right here. This is my Instagram, and I'll be able to help you guys out. Do not take public transportation in this city. Nobody that lives in Miami takes public transportation because it's that horrible. I know many cities around the world, like New York, have really good public transportation, but definitely not Miami. One time that I recommend taking a public transit, and that is when you are on Miami Beach and you want to get around Miami Beach. Taxi drivers have been caught multiple times going to traffic on purpose, just so that they could raise the fare on you. Miami locals use a lot of ride sharing like Uber, Lyft, and Turo. For those of you guys who never used Turo before, it's a person-to-person car rental app. So you do not go to a big company like Enterprise or Hertz. You are renting from another person, another local. I will leave my referral link in the description below. A lot of times a promoter will give you a free pass and tell you that they give you VIP access to the club. The truth is, they cannot do that. Only the VIP host could do that. So what the promoter is going to do, they're going to put you on the guest list. You're going to get to the club. You're going to think that you're going to get in for free, but at the door, they're gonna tell you that you're gonna have to pay, and most likely you are gonna pay because you just spent hours in line waiting to get in. So if any promoter that you do not know tells you that they'll give you free VIP access and all that BS, just ignore them. Only your nightclub VIP host is authorized to give you free bottle service. Promoters cannot do that. They do not have that power. These scams that promoters are guilty of happens in every single nightclub in Vegas, New York, Miami. So keep this in mind, not just for Miami, but anywhere you go. This one is huge. A lot of credit card fraud happens in Miami. Usually when you go to a bar or a club, you open up a tab, and when you open up that tab, the bartender will have access to your credit card. You have to give them your credit card. So make sure that you check your credit card statements when you leave Miami. Also, make sure that you take pictures of all your receipts so you have proof. Again, remember, gratuity is automatic at most places, not everywhere, but at most places. If you want to know about more things to do in Miami, click this video right here. If you want to know about more of the bottle service scams that happens everywhere, click this video right here. Thank you, Matt from Trillis, for helping me make this video. You can go to the description below to see his full article on the subject, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.